Hello everyone and welcome to today's discussion around IBM Cognos Express 10.2.2. My name is James Wakefield and I'm the Manager of Solutions here at Trident, and joining me today is Arun from our Technical Architecture practice. Arun is our Chief Technical Architect and he's going to be talking through some of the key things around Cognos Express 10.2.2 and what they mean for you in your environment. So Cognos Express 10.2.2 was released on June 26, 2015. One of the key things to know about this is that you are no longer using a single product installation. As of this release, Cognos Express 10.2.2 is actually delivered with a limited license version of the Enterprise Cognos BI 10.2.2 and the Enterprise Cognos TM1 10.2.2. This is a significant change to how Cognos Express has been delivered to the market. This means that all Cognos Express customers will now have immediate access to fix packs, hot fixes, and will be entitled towards the new releases as the Enterprise versions are released. Cognos Express customers will be able to take advantage of those new releases too. The key thing is that the licensing around Cognos Express is still limited to where you have a maximum 100 users, of which there can be a maximum of 50 performance management users. Apart from that, you will be able to enjoy a lot of the benefits of the enterprise-wide technology stack. So let's just remind ourselves around what Cognos Express offers towards the market and why it's so significant. First of all, let's talk about the business intelligence side. So you have a best-in-class self-service business intelligence tool allowing for interactive visualizations, reporting capability, and ad hoc querying. You then get to combine this with a best-in-class performance management module with the underlying TM1 technology, allowing you to be able to position scorecards, budgeting, and rolling forecasts within your organization. Combining these two modules together mean that you are able to deploy best-in-class what-if scenario modeling, planning, and collaboration in one business tool presented to your users, allowing you to extend analytics capabilities across your entire organization. So what's included in the Cognos Express capabilities? Well, this table identifies all the different areas of Cognos Express that you have available to you. Note you have visualization capabilities, the deployment to mobile devices, analysis dashboards, ad hoc reporting, production reporting, operational reporting, but you combining that with the performance management usage of what-if scenario modeling, planning, budgeting, and forecasting, integrating it with scorecards for target setting, and also allowing users to be able to access that information via an Excel add-in capability as well. Your table in front of you outlines where the business intelligence users have access to certain modules and the performance management users have access to their modules. Really the key difference here is where a user has write-back capability to be able to enter data into the Cognos Express system, to be able to enter budgets, forecasts, or targets within scorecards. So the Cognos Express BI capabilities, this is very wide-ranging. You have reporting and ad hoc query capability to be able to service not just simple intuitive reporting that might be for novice, all the way through to expert capability, allowing you to define a report to the exact standard that you need. You're therefore able to define different reports to meet the different usage needs of different users. You can cover operational reporting, transactional reporting, dashboards, or ad hoc, all within the Cognos Express Business Intelligence Framework. With regards to data sources, you've got a wide range of data sources in there, from relational to OLAP, as in cube-based systems, even down to desktop files that might be ad hocly coming into your organization from external parties. You have the ability to also deliver reports via either a web-based interface, being your browsers, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, or being able to burst reports out to people via email or into the portal itself, and being able to consume that with PDF or Excel, whichever be the preference of your users. The ability to be able to run those reports not only just on your laptop or PC, but able to distribute it to mobile devices such as iPads now. The Active Reports technology has had a huge uptake within the Cognos marketplace, and Cognos Express customers can now take advantage of the latest Active Reports features and technologies included within it. So as of Cognos Express 10.2.2, there's a few key themes that we should talk about. First of all, Cognos Express and how it's fast. You'll be able to deploy and use Cognos BI more quickly and more easily. The installation we'll talk about later on with the run, but you'll still have ease of installation capability. Reports can be delivered against numerous new data sources, allowing you to be able to report against terabytes of data going forwards. And it's optimized now for a number of operating systems going forward, more than you ever had access to before with Cognos Express prior versions. On the theme of simple, you have the ability to deliver reports and dashboards faster through the new template innovation, the ability to include innovative visualizations within your dashboards as well, and you have access to a new feature called local datasets that we'll have a look at later on in detail as well, thus allowing you to create personalized experiences for your user communities within the organization. On the theme of rich, there is a huge library now of visualizations for you to be able to incorporate and choose between within your reports and dashboards. Those of you who haven't had a chance yet, please go and visit analyticszone.com and have a look at everything that is available to you there. I mentioned about the wide variety of data sources, and some of those key ones are around the theme of big data moving forwards as well. There's also a broader support for a wide range of disabilities as well. So for example, there'll be colour schemes available for the visually impaired as well. So in terms of new features that are available, we mentioned around the reusable style templates that are now available in Report Studio. This allows you to define styles for standardized reporting, allowing you to create templates for groups of users as a starting point, and simplifies report maintenance by updating one style. Means that you're updating all the reports that contain that style. This is going to allow report administrators and business users to be able to get more done faster, as you only have to change a single interface and have that apply against the whole library of your reports going forwards. That's going to save a lot of time and effort within your business intelligence framework. We mentioned about the visualizations capability. Some of the new visualizations that you'll be able to include in Cognos Express 10.2.2 include the new tornado, polar area, chord, dynamic maps, and combination charts. That's in addition to the already extensive library of visualizations that are within the analyticszone.com downloads. My Datasets is a new capability as well within Cognos Express 10.2.2. What you're going to be able to do with your My Datasets is to be able to upload CSV files or Excel files and be able to create reports and dashboards off them. This means that your ordinary business users are able to manage and upload those data files without needing to go through IT for them to be added to Cognos Framework Manager packages. In fact, Cognos is going to automatically create Cognos Framework Manager packages for you based off those uploads. And then administrators are able to define who actually has privileges to be able to view and use those going forwards. Now, why is this key? Well, this is key because organizations are facing a lot of external data coming at them, and the ability to incorporate them into your business intelligence platform is a pretty important aspect. You're most likely going to need to combine data coming from on-prem with data coming from off-prem external sources, and this is one of the ways that you're going to be able to easily manage this with Cognos Express 10.2.2 going forwards. So in terms of data sources, here's a pretty extensive list now of the supported data sources. You'll notice a big focus on being able to support new big data sources such as Cloudera, Infosphere Big Insights, Apache Hive, Netezza, for example. But you'll also notice that as of Cognos Express 10.2.2, you now have access to be able, or support for SQL Server 2014 as your content store, for example, and also support of Microsoft Internet Information Services 8.5, and the support of the latest mobile platforms as well, being iOS 8 and Android 4.4. So also going through the Cognos Express finance capability, these are your performance management users. Typically, the finance department are the heaviest users of the performance management capabilities. This is where you're doing your planning, budgeting, and forecasting capabilities, but also doing your what-if scenario modeling over the top. Not only modeling what might happen, but maybe best case and worst case scenarios as well, so that you're prepared for either. So for those of you who haven't purchased the Cognos Express performance management module before, this is extending and transforming your traditional spreadsheet-based information within the organization, getting away from spreadsheets as being siloed, unsecure, unauditable areas of information, bring them into a single source of truth, which is the Cognos Express TM1 platform, and allowing for continuous planning within there with real-time updates from, or near real-time updates from your source systems to allow you to compare actual versus targets. There's role-based security within the system, allowing for clear audit trails and also workflows, which are important within your budgeting and forecasting scenarios within your organization. Here you're able to define your business hierarchies, not only the as-is, but maybe the what might be in the next financial year, and allowing you to manage a central repository of business rules and calculations to form your forecasts and budgets going forward. Here you have template-driven plan contribution. So we're talking about a read-write access to data here. The database underlying is your TM1 platform, which is in memory, automatically rolling your information up through business hierarchies and automatically calculating those business rules without any need for scripts to be executed. So what's new within the Cognos Express 10.2.2 performance management capabilities? Well, the exciting news is that you now have access for the Cognos Analysis for Excel interface. This is, going forward, it's going to be a very exciting product for you to use within your Cognos business intelligence and performance management framework. It's actually designed to be extremely fast over a wide area network and providing write-back capabilities to those underlying Cognos TM1 cubes. Here you're able to do not only write-back but slice and dice of your information within Excel spreadsheets as well against that single source of truth being your TM1 information. We'll have a look at that a bit more in detail in the next couple of slides. Within the Cognos TM1 core engine itself, you now have support for localization, as in you now have support for a wide range of languages. You have the TM1 Web API allowing you to create very customized solutions using that. There's the support for the scorecarding custom diagrams within TM1 Web. What you're seeing here is effectively the enterprise capability being extended across the Cognos Express capability now, which is why it's so exciting for Cognos Express users. You'll also have access to all of the operations console improvements, and you'll be able to move more towards operation console and instead of your current TM1 top deployments. In terms of conformance updates, you'll now have the ability to be able to use TM1 within 64-bit versions of Microsoft Excel. You'll have the full SSL support, and an interesting one is you'll also have the ability to deploy Cognos TM1 on Linux, if that is your operating system preference within the organization. So just having a bit more of a look at Cognos Analysis for Excel. So this wasn't included in prior versions of Cognos Express unless you purchase licenses. This is now included within those performance management licenses. Your business analysts will now be able to use this as a friendly interface within Excel for report authoring and data input. One of the key added advantages is being able to use it to be able to easily calculate numbers within Excel and send them back into TM1, and the speed of which you're able to do that over a wide area network. This interface is a lot faster than your traditional TM1 perspectives, and over time you'll see pretty much all of the focus being around Cognos Analysis for Excel, and I'd encourage you to at least start becoming familiar with this interface going forwards. You'll be able to build very complex multi-cube reports with these new formula-free modes. You'll be able to get away from the DBRW type formulas into a much more flexible layout. You'll be able to use these new capabilities to quickly explore and discover data trends and opportunities, still within the Excel interface in here. And the exciting thing is being able to provide, through this one client, the ability to bring together Cognos BI data with your TM1 data within the one Excel workbook. So you can combine within the one worksheet information from a TM1 cube while displaying it alongside, for example, information from a Cognos BI report capability as well. So I'd now like to talk a bit about Trident's technical architecture practice and how they will be able to help you make this transition from Cognos Express older versions to Cognos Express 10.2.2. Client is very proud of the fact that we have a dedicated Cognos certified technical architecture practice within the organization, where I think one of the few, if not the only, that have this capability. And we have a lot of pride in being able to get organizations onto the latest releases of Cognos and TM1 with a minimal amount of impact to their business users. Our technical architecture practice can assess the strengths and weaknesses of your existing environment, and we'll be able to make recommendations about the steps to be able to do the upgrades and minimize those disruptions and downtimes. They'll be able to proactively guide you through the upgrade process, giving you a roadmap, outlining the prerequisites that are needed and the upgrade options, and also the required client involvement for each of those steps. Arun will also talk about the reviews available to ensure business continuity and the available technology to ascertain the system supports for your goals. Note down at the bottom the link to the email address to be able to contact our technical architecture practice with any questions, or if you'd like to discuss around doing upgrades within your organization. So today we have the pleasure of Arun, who is our Chief Technical Architect within Trident, and he's available for us to answer some of the common questions that customers are going to have around their Cognos Express upgrade paths going forwards, and what some of the key differences are going forwards, and how they should approach these installations. So one of the first questions for Arun is going to be the installation and configuration of Cognos Express. It used to be an easy single installation file. What are going to be the differences now going forwards with the changes to the enterprise versions of Cognos BI?
Thanks for the introduction there, James. Now, you ask a very important question regarding the installation files. So, with Cognos Express, customers would be aware prior to version 10.2.2, there was only one installation file that they would be wanting to download. Now, moving forward with 10.2.2, since this is the Enterprise BI and TM1, you get two separate installation files, one for BI and another for TM1. And another important thing to keep in mind is with the deployment of the software, you can still continue to install the installation file on the same hardware, or it gives you an additional level of flexibility where you could redistribute the software onto a different service for maximum flexibility and performance. Another key thing that has changed is the customer was restricted to the Informix as the content store database. The good news here is the restriction has been lifted, and the customers can leverage enterprise standard database instances such as SQL Server, Oracle, or DB2 to be the content stores. James?
That's great, Arun. Now, one of the other things that customers are going to know is that in prior versions of Cognos Express, when you wanted to be able to download one of the client installations, such as either TM1 Perspectives or Framework Manager, you had to go to a download page to be able to download and run and install them. What happens now that the Cognos Express client install page has gone away?
Right, good point there. Good point there. Now, the Express Manager page and the client install page have both disappeared. With the replacement for the Express Manager page is the Cognos Administration page. So that replaces certain functionalities that was previously provided by the Express Manager page. In terms of the client install page, there is no client install page moving forward. However, you are required to run a separate installer to deploy client software to end user workstations and control the usage of the client tools through Cognos built-in groups and roles.
Okay, and one of the other things about prior versions of Cognos Express was you used to be able to run a single backup from within the administration area to be able to back up everything within the Infomix database and TM1 databases. Going forwards now with these enterprise editions, what are the implications for backups now?
Another good question. So with the enterprise introduction, what you could always do is schedule a full content store export through Cognos Administration, which would then create a deployment archive. Now this gives the Cognos administrator some power to schedule backups and the full content store backups whenever he or she feels like doing it or in an ongoing basis. You could alternately leverage the backup capabilities of the relational database management software that you are using as the content store moving forward. So you could actually leverage the features of the RDBMS software to back up the entire content store. So now that is for Cognos BI. And for TM1, I would strongly recommend using some of Trident's best practice scripts to create backups and retain them.
Thanks, Arun. Now, in prior versions of Cognos Express, you were actually quite limited to be able only to use Active Directory for your single sign-on capability. Is there some changes now that will be important for users in Cognos Express 10.2.2?
Yes, there are changes, and these changes are good. So Active Directory is still continued to be supported with Cognos Express 10.2.2. Also, since this is an enterprise deployment, we still get the support for any LDAP version 3 compliant directory service, because we're starting to see the rollout of Cognos Express on the Linux platform, and our open source customers would definitely like to see Cognos BI authenticating against an Open LDAP instance. Since Open LDAP is a version 3 compliant directory server, yes, we can integrate the product with an Open LDAP server moving forward. Yes, so answering your question, we've got Active Directory and any LDAP version 3 compliant directory service supported as part of the identity management platform for Cognos Express 10.2.2.
I guess one of the key things that we're seeing here is options that are now available for people moving forwards. And talking of options, one of the things that you also used to be limited on was just to one tier 1 instance, and you used to have to make sure that you use the inbuilt CXMD instance. What now in the new version?
Right, the restriction to only have one TM1 instance and that to be named CXMD has been lifted. That restriction has been lifted. So you could have unlimited TM1 instances with the purpose of segregating business responsibilities like finance or HR or any other strategic areas. The key takeaway here is when installing the TM1 software, it is imperative that you do not provision the software on a PVU count that's greater than 1,600.
Okay. Now, what about auditing? I hear there's some useful capabilities going forwards that we'll now have access to in Cognos Express.
Now, auditing is fully supported with the enterprise version of Cognos Express 10.2.2. So whatever customers were using with Cognos BI version 10.2.1 and onwards, we get the entire auditing stack supported. So it's not restricted to the out-of-the-box auditing. We're also talking about the audit extensions, which gives you some additional capabilities around auditing group memberships and role memberships. So that's the good news with the extended support for auditing.
That's great. And I guess just as a last question, is there anything else that you can give us a quick wrap-up as what is now supported or not in Cognos Express 10.2.2?
Good question. Now with 10.2.2, Analysis Studio and Query Studio is definitely deprecated. SAP Business Warehouse as a data source is not officially supported. And since TM1 is being used as the cube building technology or cube engine, the support for dynamic cubes and transformer is not officially available for Cognos Express 10.2.2. The customers would also be happy to know that you could create your custom Cognos applications using the Cognos BI SDK for version 10.2.2 and for a range of supported environments for BI 10.2.2 and TM1 10.2, it would be worthwhile for customers to check out individual support environment pages for the products.
That's great. Thanks, Arun. I think everyone can agree that there's many exciting things that are coming in this release of Cognos Express 10.2.2. And if anybody has any follow-up questions that they'd like answered, then as per the contact information on the screen there, please feel free to email or phone Trident on those contact areas, and Arun will be able to assist you to be able to answer your questions and to be able to plan your upgrades to be able to take advantage of all these latest features that you now have going forwards. So thank you for your time for viewing today. We hope it was useful, and stay tuned for further recordings.